achieved.
All right, welcome in everybody to Studio Day Heffrey. Today we are going to play a game called Two Truths That You Need to Know About Dak Prescott, because multiple people in the video yesterday in the comments were talking about Dak Prescott and had questions about Dak Prescott. Everybody wants to talk about Dak Prescott. What's going on? So I'm going to jumble together a few different questions from people. Kayvon said, can you please prove that Dak is a top 10 quarterback for all the less intelligent Cowboy fans? Colt said, when someone tells me Dak wouldn't be good if he didn't have Zeke, what do I respond with? Matthew, new to the channel, what's going on with Dak? So we got a whole bunch of Dak questions. And sure, let's address them. So, two truths that I think you got to be comfortable with Dak Prescott is, one, the team does not necessarily feel the way that you do about Dak. That's something that I've had to get comfortable with. The team doesn't necessarily feel the same way about their quarterback that I do. Because the team, if they love Dak Prescott and they know he's the future of the quarterback position, this deal is already done. It's already done. You know, we talk about, I'll just fire shots at Gavin Dawson, one of my favorite things to do, where it's like if you're Dak and you're being offered a great contract and tons of money, and the only thing that's holding you up is the number of years, you just sign it. Take your certainty of all that money, and you got to get in here and learn this new offense, and you got all. I like to flip that scenario. If you know that's your franchise quarterback and you're trying to get a 5 or 6 year deal because you want the guaranteed money to run out, you want to be able to spread out the bonus money more, and you want all these little tiny roster advantages or salary cap advantages, if that's where you are and the sticking point is years, which is what we're hearing, but you're also trying to win the Super Bowl, you have a brand new head coach who has a great reputation with quarterbacks. So new head coach, great reputation with quarterbacks, working with Kellen Moore to build a new offense. You're doing virtual meetings to get ready for the season. And now I'm going to put you in the place where you are Jerry and Stephen Jones, and you know that Dak is your dude. That's our dude. Are you really playing hardball about 4 versus 5 years? Or are you signing your franchise quarterback? You're signing him. So you got to get comfortable with the truth that the Cowboys might want Dak Prescott to play on the tag this year because they're not sure what they have at quarterback. Get comfortable with that, because that is the only theory that makes sense to me right now about the quarterback, is that he and his agent are playing hardball on what they want, and the Cowboys aren't willing to give that much. They were willing to give that much to a running back holding out with 2 years left on his deal, but they're not willing to give that much to their quarterback. Even what they're talking about with the salary cap, Stephen Jones was talking about if you pay your quarterback a certain amount of the salary cap, that it makes it harder to win the Super Bowl. That's factual, right? That is factual, of course. Anybody who makes more. In a perfect world, you'd have a great quarterback on a rookie deal. You'd have Pat Mahomes. Most people don't. So once I take away that, because the Cowboys can no longer have Dak on a rookie deal. The rookie deal is up. Can't have it. So now what's better? The next guy on a rookie deal or Dak Prescott being really well compensated? What gives you a better chance to win the Super Bowl? And the answer is a well-compensated, really good quarterback. Do they just think, or they're not convinced, that he is the quarterback that is worth taking that risk? That appears to be the case. It appears to be the case that they're willing to say, dude, let him play on the tag, and then a year from now, we'll evaluate it again. And the most likely result of doing that is that once again, it's going to kill you. Cowboys could have signed Dak for $28 million a year. Didn't get it done. Now they could sign Dak for $35, $36 million a year. Might not get it done. And when they don't, you'll get to next offseason and they'll have to decide again, are we going to give Dak $40-something million a year? Or are we going to find our next quarterback? And if you don't go 3-13, who's your next quarterback? That's where they are. Is do we want to make a concession because we know it's our guy, or are we not sure it's our guy, so we're willing to play this tag game and go into next offseason going, I don't know. get comfortable with the fact that the Cowboys are not scared of Dak playing on a tag. And if you're a big Dak supporter, they probably are not as sold on him as you are. That's real life. So, to Colt's question, when someone tells me Dak wouldn't be good if he didn't have Zeke, what do I respond with? I think you smile and nod because that person's lost and you don't worry about it. There is the case to be made. So somebody asked me, I think maybe Sean Sharif did a poll question today where he was saying, go ahead and rank which quarterback you want between Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff. And I believe I went Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff. That was my order. But I think you also have to acknowledge that all of those guys over the course of their career so far have fluctuated based on the situation around them. When the Sean McVay thing was new, Jared Goff was the best. Unstoppable. Carson Wentz on his MVP run, where he got hurt and didn't win the MVP, that was everything Carson Wentz, right? But while he was playing before he got hurt, he was the best of the bunch. Dak his rookie year and Dak last year, he was probably the best of the bunch. And then Deshaun Watson also has moments where the upside that he offers, the big playability that he offers, he appears to be the best of the bunch. Now, he also has a downside in trying to make all those big plays, but I also think he's the worst protected. So all of these guys, to me, are very similar. What's around him? When Dak loses Tyron Smith, he struggles. When he loses Amari Cooper, he struggles. He's had different times when he didn't have a good wide receiver core. When Michael Gallup rookie version was his best wide receiver, he struggles. So all of these guys are in similar scenarios where, yeah, you need to surround them, and that's almost every quarterback in the league. Even Pat Mahomes. What's Pat Mahomes look like if he doesn't come into the league and watch Alex Smith with Andy Reid as his coach, Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce as the guys that he's throwing to? Are we talking about future GOAT with Pat Mahomes? I don't know. His completion percentage over expected, which is a nerd number. It's one of the things that's not appreciated about Dak Prescott. Like the idea that he's an inaccurate thrower, that's a bunch of crap. If anybody ever says that, just smile and nod because they don't know what they're talking about. Like Drew Brees is a wizard, right? That's accurate. That's ball placement and accuracy. But when you just talk about, and we can do this now because we have information where we can track how far apart players are, and we can track how tight the coverage is, and based on how deep you're throwing the ball, like what are the odds that an NFL quarterback should complete this throw? We have that, which leads to a stat called completion percentage over expected. And Dak's one of the best in the league at that stat, where they're saying, listen, we're normalizing this for how tight the coverage is, the depth of your throw, all the different things that we can factor in. And Dak measures out incredible at that stat. Pat Mahomes, bad. Where, yeah, Pat Mahomes offers the huge upside on a lot of the plays that he makes that other people can't. But in terms of consistent accuracy, Dak's more accurate than Pat Mahomes. He just is. But people will never say that. And I don't know why. I don't know why you can't acknowledge that and then also talk about what you'd like to see a guy improve at. So the idea that, is Dak a top 10 quarterback? From Kayvon commenting on the YouTube page, which you can do that, youtube.com/Jeff Kavanaugh. Hit the subscribe button, and on this video, leave in the comments what you want to talk about tomorrow. So let's talk about ways that we evaluate quarterback play. Total QBR, not passer rating, but total QBR. Dak was 4th last year. That's really good. How about, these are things that I think are important. Sack yards allowed. Dak was 28th. So he fixed his issue of taking too many sacks and holding onto the ball too long. He got the ball out quicker. He was one of the least sacked guys in the league. He was top 5 in QBR. He was 6th in adjusted net yards per attempt, which tells you that you're going down the field. You're not taking sacks. You're not turning the ball over a ton because that factors in touchdowns, picks, sacks, everything. Adjusted net yards per attempt. Dak was 6th, 4th in QBR. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, but there's multiple starters for a lot of teams. So one of the best in the league, not taking sacks. Then I wanted to sort something out and check something out here. And so I just was winging it this morning. I did not know the result before I did it, but what I wanted to do was let's take it to situations that are super important to the outcome of a game. 1-score game, Assorted on Pro Football Reference. In one-score games, it is 3rd down and 5 or more. So now you're going to put the ball in the quarterback's hands and you want to convert this 3rd down. How's Dak in that scenario? And how does he stack up against those other 3 guys? Dak on 3rd and long last year threw 6 touchdowns and no picks. He was only sacked twice. His yards per attempt was 8.5. He ran it 3 times for 24 yards. That's an 8-yard per carry average. He killed it. He was a monster. Let's compare him to some of those other guys I'm talking about. Jared Goff in those same scenarios as Dak, 4 touchdowns and 2 picks against Dak's 6 touchdowns and no picks. Jared Goff sacked 7 times, Dak twice, in about the same number of plays, and the completion percentage about the same, 57 and 57. All right, what about Wentz? His completion percentage on 3rd and long, 50%, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. His yards per attempt is more than 1.5 yards. It's 1.7 yards per attempt short of Daks. QB rating is almost 20 points lower than Daks. Did have 3 runs for 31 yards. And who else were we doing? Deshaun Watson, 3rd and long, completed 67% of his passes, which is great. 2 touchdowns and 2 picks to Dak's 6 touchdowns and no picks. QB rating, 30 points behind Dak, but he also ran 9 times for 92 yards. 5 of those were first downs. So the legs helped Deshaun Watson out there. But 3rd and long, and did I tell you this is in one-score games? I made sure that the parameters were one-score game, 3rd and long. So the outcome is not decided. We're fighting for our lives. Who's the best in this scenario? The answer, Dak. So he's top 4 in QBR. He's top 6 in adjusted net yards per attempt. He's one of the best in the league at avoiding sacks. And on 3rd and long, he's money. Yes, that's a top 10 quarterback. Of course that's a top 10 quarterback. I guess I would ask if anybody's like, Dak's not a top 10 quarterback. I would say, who are the 10 better? And don't just name names and say, I watch football. Tell me why. Not because, well, I think so. Because I really like Phillip Rivers. Tell me why. Find me the 10 better. So I wish they'd get the deal done, but that goes back to truth number 1. Truth number 1 is the Cowboys don't feel the same way that I do. That's truth 1. The Cowboys are ready for Dak to play on the tag. Their actions say that they don't think he's as good as I do, and they're not as sold as I am, and they're totally comfortable letting him play on the tag, and then a year from now, seeing what happens. I also think there's probably an arrogance about them that they no matter how long this plays out, that Dak doesn't want to play quarterback somewhere else. That he knows the benefits of quarterback for the Cowboys. So that's 2 truths about Dak today. Whatever you want to talk about tomorrow, just leave it in the comments on the YouTube page. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications so you don't miss a video, and check 1053thefan.com every day, of course. And I will catch you tomorrow.